to find out more about the current situation in New York and nearby cities and areas, as well as conditions of Indonesian citizens. We are now joined live with the Indonesian Consulate General in New York, Council of Information and Social Cultural Affairs, Pak Herbhayu Noerlambang, or Pak Bayu. Early good morning to you, New York time. I hope you're well. Could you tell us the current situation in New York and nearby cities?
Hi, good morning. In New York City. Yeah, as of yesterday evening, 2 September, the state of emergency remained in effect across the state of New York and New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And in New York, the flood has receded, even though some of the subway lines and public transportation are still suspended. Some regions had power outages during hurricane, but it has now been restored. The situation is slowly getting back to normal, except in some cities in New Jersey that has not been fully recovered.
Can Hurricane Ida still be seen today? And can we expect extreme weather conditions to continue for the next few days?
No. According to the announcement from the National Weather Service, the NWS, the worst storm occurred Wednesday night, the 1st of September, and the agency is not expecting any major hurricane to occur in the next few days.
Pak Bayu, how many Indonesians are in the New York and the greater New Jersey area?
In the two states, we have about 12,000 Indonesian living in New Jersey and New York. And as of today, the consulate has not received any report of fatalities or injuries among the Indonesian community. However, many Indonesians living in Elmhurst, Queens, were reported to have been directly affected by the flood. Also, some of the consulate staff are also affected, and many roads are closed, and the subway lines are still closed, and the traffic is still bad the next day.
Pak Bayu, have there been any claims by Indonesian who live in the New York and New Jersey area who have been affected by the storm?
There are some of Indonesian citizens are affected by storm. Almost of them, they live in the basement apartments, but none of them there's no fatalities or any injuries.
So, as a means of communication, what does the Consulate General usually do to suggest for Indonesians, especially in living in New York and nearby cities? Have there been any, shelter efforts or anything that you are planning in case there might be any citizens affected?
We give warnings in our Instagram, and we also have some WhatsApp group communication with our Indonesians living in New York and all the area of the East Coast, and we put all the information needed about any information that are needed for our citizen. So we are making sure they stay at home during the storm, and they keep their emergency supply kit in a place that you can easily access, and listen to the local news for any updates for the hurricane.
Is there a special call center or special information line that you have that the Consul General is setting up for Indonesian citizens to seek for help, perhaps?
Indonesia has one embassy in DC and 5 consulates in the United States, and we regularly communicate with each other to exchange information. In time of emergency like this, we have hotline numbers. In fact, the Indonesian Consulate in New York, we have 5 hotline numbers that can be contacted at any time for our citizens.
Just out of curiosity, because earlier was reported that internet and communication lines are still difficult in a couple of areas in New York and surrounding citizens. What is the current situation like, and is anybody also on standby in the Consulate General of New York?
Most of the part in New York City, we are still the situation is getting back to normal. But in the New York State, some of the electricity is still is not normal, and we are expecting to have them in a good condition maybe in the next few days.
All right.
Well, Pak Bayu, as we know, the Hurricane Ida actually it hit the U.S. starting from the state of Louisiana, which is down south near the Gulf, and actually moved up to the northeast. have you heard reports from other places outside the New York and the New Jersey area on the victims from the Indonesian community there along the line?
We have no reports of any Indonesian fatalities, but we have some information from Indonesian communities in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, and also some of them also we have some reports in Massachusetts, but fortunately there is no fatalities. Also in some in Rhode Island as well.
So just out of curiosity, it is projected to be leaving the shores of the United States really, really soon.
Yeah.
According to your most recent weather report, how many days will that be from now? Or has the storm already left the shores of the United States?
In New York City and in New Jersey, the storm has gone away, and then we are expecting sunny days for the next 2 days to come.
So basically, the storm was literally passing through in the predicted trajectory that's already given by the weather reports and warnings.
Yes.
All right, Pak Bayu, we have a very a light question actually. So some Indonesian celebrities are in New York to attend the Fashion Week. Do you have any suggestions for them to be safe throughout their visit?
Yeah, we are aware of that, and we would suggest them to stay at the hotel during the bad weather and avoid commuting around the city until the city is fully restored.
So do you see any adjustments to big events like Fashion Week happening, being postponed, or is, as you said, things going back to normal and all events will go back to normal as per se as usual?
No. So far, the New York Fashion Week is still going on according as planned. There is no any report for any delays or any things that are going back to normal. So everything is going as planned.
All right.
We hope so.
So, Pak Bayu, thank you so much for the updates, and thank you so much for staying up, because I understand that's around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning in New York time. And I hope you also stay safe and healthy, and should there be anything else, please do feel free to get in touch with us and report, because we know that the situation is very dire and we really need to be able to communicate with a lot of our citizens and updates.